Well, welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And Manchester United is taking on Crystal Palace. That is it, not so. And why is it Bournemouth? You know? Oh my god. Oh my god. Man United, Crystal Palace, where are you at? Where are you at? Let me first check here because there is a glitch in here and there is something I need to sort out. I saved this video very well here. You understand? And here it comes. So you please, can you vacate? So, how are you, my mates? It's been a while. I scheduled this video hours back, but sleep really took me away. And I was like, this early morning, I have to obviously come up here and obviously get you the gist of this story in here. And guess what? This is what we are obviously going to be talking about. Crystal Palace versus Manchester United. Game of football that is going to be played at Old Trafford today. And hope you guys are really having fun. And are ready to obviously let me into the mix. And I already have people who came in here early. There is Fred Kabaya. Thank you for obviously showing the love and reciprocating the love always. He says, good morning. I'm Fred, watching you from Nairobi, just waiting for you. All right. Here I've come. I don't know whether Fred you are on, but I've just got to hit obviously come right now. We are going to be here for like 30 minutes only. Then Firstborn, watching you from Uganda. Thanks for the updates, but we getting any other players after the departure of Rashford? The answer is yes. Some players are really going to be showing up at Manchester United in the deadline day into the mix. So let's obviously get this up and running. Oh, Fred is here. Dixon, thank you for obviously watching in through. Fred is here, Dixon is here, and let's obviously talk United Crystal Palace for now. Guys, let's pause transfers because I'm gonna be uploading more stories about your transfers, but let's talk about this encounter that is obviously gonna be coming in through at the club of Manchester United today at Old Trafford. And we'll be having the following: Luke Shaw, Mason Mount, Mason Mount, all those are out injured for the club of Manchester United. You understand? Johnny Evans is also injured. Those are the players that are really out for the club of Manchester United that are not going to be taking part into this encounter. When we go to the side of Crystal Palace, Chelsea called back Chalobah. That means they really have a very huge blow. And what has gone ahead to make that worse is that Chadi Riyad is also out. So he's sidelined. And Adam Watson is also edging towards return. So he's doubtful. But the rest of the players are really available. And for Manchester United, Luke Shaw is back in first team training. But the manager confirmed to us that it's not obviously gonna be very easy to see to it that everything really moves on as the manager is planning it. But for Crystal Palace, they've gonna hit obviously be 13th onto the Premier League table, and they're having 27 points. Man United is having 23 points. Sorry, is having 29 points. And what United has to do is to come up and obviously beat this side. If we have to do anything, we have to beat them and really go to 32 points. And I know if we win that game of football, Man United will obviously find itself in a position of really going to 32 points, and will go to the 11th position depending on how Brentford is going to be performing today. Now, when we look at Crystal Palace in their recent past, let's check out the games that Palace has just gone ahead to play. Their last games. Obviously, they lost to Brentford at home by 2-1. Their last away game, they paid a visit to West Ham and they beat West Ham by 2-0. So we shouldn't take this team for granted. You know, it's really a very hard team, and we know that last time they even came at Old Trafford and beat us. And one of the games that Erik ten Hag played very well was the game of Crystal Palace, but he failed to obviously win, because if you ask me one of the games that United dominated, it's that of Crystal Palace. And you all know that has been a very hard ground. And in that game, you remember when Andre Onana went ahead to make a close to 3 worldies that would have gone ahead to obviously result into United conceding goals. You understand? So we are here to obviously let you know about Crystal Palace and Man United. They are paying a visit to Manchester United, and it's going to be played at Old Trafford. What is Old Trafford all about? You know, for the very first time ever since Ruben Amorim came in here, he has gone ahead to win 3 games in a row. He beat Rangers 2-1. He beat Fulham 1-0. He beat FCSB 3-0. Sorry, 2-0 in Romania. You understand? And he's coming through at the side of he's coming back at Old Trafford to obviously see to it that he gets a win at Old Trafford. Remember the last game we played at Old Trafford, it was against Brighton in the league. And in the Premier League, in the UEFA Europa League, it has been Rangers. In the league, it has been Brighton. And we haven't gone ahead to obviously get back-to-back wins in the league, even if we are playing away from home or when we are playing at home. So all what we want is that beating Fulham last weekend should lead us to us getting what we call back-to-back wins when Manchester United is taking on the side of Crystal Palace. And I know we have an edge, because if there is confidence being built amongst the players of Manchester United, I think it is already there. It is already there. It is already there. Why? We've gone ahead to win 3 games in a row. And today is when we start to obviously continue winning the many games that we're supposed to be winning. For example, if you look at our next 3 fixtures after Crystal Palace, we can win them. I know Spurs is struggling. We can go away at Spurs and beat them. Everton away, and then we're also going to be playing Ipswich at Old Trafford. And those are the 4 games we're obviously going to be playing before we host Arsenal at Old Trafford. You understand? So all I want us to do is let's get this up and running. Let's win these 4 games. And in those 4 games, there is a game of Leicester City, of the FA Cup, and let's swipe it away. Leicester City will come to Old Trafford. Let's beat them and go to the next round. I think that's going to be the 5th round of the FA Cup. If we can gather 15 points out of our next 5 games, I tell you, it's really going to be sending a message to everyone who thinks that we can't get there with Ruben Amorim. You understand? That's the best way to obviously build confidence, and everything is really going into the right way possible. So that is how Manchester United is charged for this beautiful game of football. So let's get into the probable starting 11 for the club of Manchester United as we look through the game of Crystal Palace, because this is a must win. I tell you, it has to be a win. 3 points have to be registered by Manchester United. System 3-4-2-1, that's the system that the manager is obviously going to deploy. And after that system of 3-4-2-1, who is going to be in goal? Andre Onana was rested in the midweek, and it was all about Bayenda. And Bayenda has obviously commanded the starting spot in the UEFA Europa League ever since. He really went ahead to perform very well when Man United was playing against Arsenal. And I think the manager has found it very sane to obviously give him a go in between the stitches for the club of Manchester United. And I think Onana takes back his spot for this entire counter that will see Manchester United taking on the side of Crystal Palace. Right? Then the back 3. This is where things are really going to get interesting, because the manager rested Harry Maguire and Lenny Yoro. And he had Mazarawi at the right of the 3-man central defense, Lisandro Martinez at the left of the 3-man central defense, then Matthias De Ligt at the center of the 3-man central defense. And how do I think we're obviously going to be lining up here? It's going to be Matthias De Ligt on the right of the three-man central defense, either Matthias De Ligt or Lenny Yoro will be played at the right of the central defense. Then at the left of the three-man central defense, I call in for Lisandro Martinez. No way we should rest him anyway, because you remember in that game of Brighton, when you rested him, you saw the problems that we entered into the encounter, and he has proven to us that he's one of the creative sparks that this team has gone ahead to have. So if you are to maintain our creative sparks, then Lisandro Martinez should be in. At the center, he never played a single minute in that game of FC SB in Romania. That is Harry Maguire. He's obviously going to be returning. By my instincts tell me, Lenny Yoro might have a go into one of these games, and he will come in either for Lisandro Martinez or for Matthias De Ligt. But for Harry Maguire, he's going to be a constant into that back three, into this game of football. So that is the back three, and that's how I believe we are obviously going to be lining up today. Then, right wing back, it's going to be Mazarawi. That is it. Mazarawi. And left wing back, it's going to be Diego Dallo. So, when you look at that wing back, we can see with those wing backs, we can see Dallo either being played on the right or Mazarawi being played on the left. But I know they're going to share that role today at Old Trafford, and we all believe in them. They're going to obviously be some of the most credible players, and I tell you, they're improving. Dallo went ahead to get himself a goal in Romania in the UEFA Europa League. Very good cross put in through by Kobe Mainoo across the mouth of the goal, and it went ahead to result into a goal. That is Dallo for you. And I don't know whether the manager is going to play him as a left wing back or a right wing back, but all I know, they'll share the role. Now, in the midfield, right? Midfield, double pivot. I think it's going to be Manuel Ugarte, one of those players that was rested and never played a minute when you're playing in that fixture, meaning that he's going to be fresh for this encounter of Manchester United taking on the side of Fulham. You understand? Then I think Bruno Fernandes is going to be maintaining his spot into the double pivot, because the manager now has very many players that have gone ahead to obviously show intent of being good in the number 10 positions. You understand? So that's how I believe the midfield is obviously going to be looking like, especially that midfield of Manchester United as they take on the side of as we take on the side of Crystal Palace today. So let's go to the number 10s. This is where the argument starts. Ericsson and Kobe Mainoo started into that number 10 role, because it's divided into two this time around. The manager plays with two number 10s in his system. Now, when you look at those two number 10s, when you look at those two number 10s, Amady Diallo, Alejandro Garnacho played only 45 minutes, and they played really very, very well. For Alejandro Garnacho, he got himself an assist, and Amady Diallo went ahead to obviously get himself onto the pitch. And when you look to the first goal, he's the man that throws that ball to a player called Ericsson, and Ericsson heads that ball into Kobe Mainoo, and Kobe Mainoo goes ahead to obviously plays that ball across the mouth of the goal that led to a player known as Dallo tapping it at the back of the net. So the manager went ahead to see to it that he brought on Amady Diallo to be played as a right wing back, and then he went ahead to obviously let Kobe Mainoo play in a number 10 position with Alejandro Garnacho. Now, my thoughts are telling me that Amady Diallo is going to be given a role in one of the number 10 positions, that is on the right, in the right central axe, in the right half space. That's where he's going to be playing his number 10 role. And on the left, Alejandro Garnacho is obviously going to come and show up to obviously play on the left half space as a number 10. That's what my thoughts are, But I won't be shocked if at all the manager plays Amadi Diallo as the right wing back, and then he plays Garnacho and Kobe Mainoo as the 2 number 10s into the system. I won't be shocked, because I anticipate that this manager is really very innovative in his way of playing, and we've always gone ahead to say that Kobe Mainoo has been a 10 throughout his career. Erik ten Hag brought him in the number 8 position because he thought that, because he knew he needed a player who is really good on the ball, and Kobe Mainoo went ahead to take all the boxes. But in the number 10 position, he has shown us that he's very good as a player, and we all know this. It's like a public secret to everyone who has been following this guy from the academy that if there is any player that you think can do the number 10 role, it's a player called Kobe Mainoo. Not so? So I think Mainoo will be rested today a little bit, but he will come on. But if I'm the manager, I don't really kill off his pace. And he hinted on it earlier in his press conference that Kobe Mainoo is really disturbed because he was so much used to starting every game, and that's not the case. And with his showcase against Fulham as a number 10 and against FCSB as a number 10, I think he deserves to get into the team of Manchester United regularly. He should take those spots, and I think the manager will do the needful to get him to where we want him to be as a player. Leading the line, Rasmus Højlund came on, played very well. He released Garnacho at the start of the second half, and around the 20th minute of the first half, he went ahead to put in a very beautiful cutback to find Kobe Mainoo. And Kobe Mainoo couldn't obviously bury that ball into the back of the net. You understand? So it's him who is creating them chances. I'm not creating him chances, but I think the manager will obviously bring on Joshua Zexi, because the manager has adapted a system that 2 of you strikers will start 2 consecutive games. You remember when you're playing against Brighton, it was Zexi, and even when we played against Rangers, right, it was Zexi who was really starting. Then Rasmus Højlund came onto the pitch when Man United was playing against Fulham. He started, and against FCSB, he went ahead to obviously come up and start, meaning that this is intentional with the manager. He knows to it that he needs to get in these players to see to that everything really goes on as planned for the side of Manchester United. That is my probable starting 11. And let me read you the probable starting 11 for the side of Crystal Palace in here. Now, Palace are expecting to obviously have Henderson in goal, former of Manchester United, Richards right back, then Gehi and Locrix in the central defense, Munoz left back, then Hughes, Lemar and Michel. Oh, because I think their system, I think also plays with a back 3 nowadays. Oliver Glasner, he's a very good manager, Oliver Glasner, and he plays with the back 3. I'm really going to be checking out their system. But Michel, Eze, and Mateta are really going to be at the forefront of this. When you look at Crystal Palace, in their last game they lost to Brentford. They also play a system of 3-4-2-1. You understand? So this is the system they play. This is the system that Crystal Palace plays. You see, it's the same with that of Manchester United. And I've always gone ahead to have an argument that what's wrong with the club of Manchester United? Because we saw to it that when Southampton was almost killing us out of Trafford, though we obviously went ahead, pull back a miracle through the man known as Amadi Diallo when he scored a hat-trick. They were playing this system better than Manchester United, yet their manager had just gone ahead to come on the job. And that really caught my attention. I was like, what's really wrong with these players? You understand? What is really wrong with these players of Manchester United? So when you look at Crystal Palace, they play the same system with Manchester United, and player per player, United has better players than Crystal Palace. And I want Manchester United to obviously show them that they are the real deal. That's what I want. let's play with that aura, that confidence that we are obviously going to really dislodge them. But Mateta is a man to watch. Eze is a man to watch. Ismail Sarr is another one that we should obviously look at and see to it that all really goes on well as planned. So looks like very many managers are resorting to that back three, but other managers have gone ahead to get results from it. But Manchester United is really struggling. I've gone ahead to see Wolverhampton Wanderers playing the same system, but I don't know why Manchester United is. But I think with the players that they're obviously providing to the manager, a lot is obviously gonna be panning out well. So that is how I think we are going to line up as we are taking on the side of Crystal Palace. But before I give you my prediction, let's look through what we call the head-to-head stats, between Manchester United and Crystal Palace. Google tells us that Man United have failed to score in any of their last 3 Premier League games against Crystal Palace. They last went 4 league games without a goal against an opponent in between 1981 and 1983, and that was Arsenal. And when you look through that, they are right, because last season I think they beat us at Old Trafford, and I think we drew at their place, and even this season we drew 3 consecutive games without scoring a goal. And I know today United will have to score a goal, guys. I know we will have to score a goal. It's in me. I'm feeling it. It's running in my blood that United will obviously score goals today. Secondly, Crystal Palace have won 5 of their last 11 Premier League games against Man United. 3 draws, 3 losses, having been winless in 22 league games against them before this. 4 draws and 18 losses. That is Crystal Palace for you. Then thirdly, having won just 2 of their first 22 away league games against Manchester United between 1922 and 1922 and 2018, 3 draws and 17 losses. Crystal Palace have now won 3 of their last 5 visits to Old Trafford, 2 losses. So they've been coming to Old Trafford and obviously threw in a very huge boost. You understand? Thirdly, having won just 2 of their last let's go fourthly. Man United have won 2 of their last 3 Premier League games, 1 loss, more than in their previous 7 combined. 1 win, 1 draw, and 5 losses. Ruben Amorim is looking for consecutive wins for the first time in his 13th game in charge, with Tommy Doherty in 1972-1973, the last United manager to have as long a wait for a back-to-back league wins from the start of his reign, 14th game. So we aren't really doing good when it comes to winning back-to-back Premier League games, because we haven't gone ahead to win back-to-back Premier League games. And today is the day to break that curse. I really believe that it's the day for Manchester United to obviously come up and really take us to where we want to be. Then lastly, Crystal Palace have won 4 of their last 5 away Premier League matches, winning more away points than anyone else since the start of December 13th. Palace last won 3 consecutive away games in April and May 2019. So that is it. So that's Crystal Palace for you. They are coming at Old Trafford, and I'm going for a 2-1 win prediction for Manchester United. I'm giving United a 2-1 win. That is it. I'm giving United a 2-1 win. And I think it's really going to be a very huge game to enjoy. And from now, 7 hours from the game, we are going to be here live telling you who is starting and who is not starting. And when the game of football will be done and dusted, we'll come here and we'll let you know what the result has been like at Old Trafford. But my instincts tell me it's going to be a win for Manchester United. My prediction is a 2-1 win for the club of Manchester United into this encounter. You can as well let me know of your predictions. But Dixon says, good morning, Aradi. You are doing greatly. Well, please update us on our Sure New signing. Obviously, Patrick Dogu is going to be at Old Trafford today. It's the next video I'm obviously going to be posting. Looks like it's the Patrick Dogu day, and his announcement is going to be made today, and he's expected to obviously come at Old Trafford and hold that shirt in front of that 70,000 plus seat capacity stadium. So right now, I cannot guarantee you that he's obviously going to be part of the squad. Obviously, he can't because they've not going to register him. But all I know, when you're playing against Leicester City, that he's in the midweek. You understand? In the midweek, because the fourth round, the game is going to be played on Friday. As we take on Leicester City, I think he'll obviously be available. That is it. When you're playing against Leicester City, I think that's when he's obviously going to be making his debut. That is Patrick Dogu. And he's a very good player. That's what I can tell you. And he's obviously going to bring his A game to this club. And the good thing is that after playing on Friday, 7th, it's going to take us 9 games to play against Tottenham Hotspur, meaning that he will use those days to obviously get into the team and really know exactly what the manager wants from him. So Patrick Dogu, done and dusted. He signed his contract last night, and guess what? Everything is gonna be moving on well as planned. Then Kushaba Yona, hey RD, hey my brother. Kenneth says, what's happening with Casemiro? United is doing all what it takes to obviously move on a player known as Casemiro. They want to move on. They've gone ahead, obviously, contact very many agents to see to it that Casemiro leaves. But Casemiro said, I'm going nowhere. I'm going nowhere. I want to stay here to fight for my position. I don't know which position he's fighting for because the manager's already gone ahead to show him that you have no space here in my team. So I don't know exactly what is running in his head, but if I were him, I would have gone ahead to come up and say, it's over for you. And let's see how things are really going to be panning out. Big and better. You understand? So Casemiro doesn't want to leave, but United is like, you will leave. You know, his salary is the problem. AS Roma is willing to offer him a lifeline in European football, but Casemiro doesn't want to go. Then Freddy Kabaya, to me it will be a win for 2-1 United. Yeah, that's also my prediction. Kenneth says, any updates about Matthias Tel, Kenda and Dogo? Matthias Tel, United is really pushing to obviously get this deal, but to get it Matthias Tel, we have to first let Marcus Rashford go, and that is it. Kenda is a deal for the summer, not a deal for the winter transfer window. Patrick Dogu is in. Expect him at Old Trafford today. Freddy Kabaya, our players are used with a 4-2-3-1. Yeah, but I think even Southampton was playing a 4-2-3-1, but the manager came in through and really changed the mindset of these players. And in a space of 1 week, they are really executing that system very well. So I want to see these players of Manchester United executing the system of this manager very well because they're really talented. We are having a very good scoop of players that can obviously shock very many opponents. That is it. Maureen and Tesla, good morning. Any news on Marcus Rashford? Marcus Rashford has said his goodbyes to the people at Manchester United. And today, I tell you, it's going to be a here we go for Marcus Rashford. I tell you, I feel it. And that story is obviously going to be making rounds today. Rashford will sign for Aston Villa today. That's what I believe. He'll sign for Aston Villa today and he'll travel there to obviously do his medical. That is it. Because Asensio is in and Rashford is also going to go in. That is it. So let's wait and see how that pans out. Rock and David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun. It has been nice having you onto this channel. I don't know what your thoughts are about this probable starting 11 for the club of Manchester United. Who do you want in? Who don't you want in? Tell me what your thoughts are about that, and the rest will be big and better for us. I'm having Isaac already. Is it confirmed that Kenda is coming? News is circulating that United has agreed a deal with Sporting Lisbon, but I cannot confirm right now. But all in all, if that will be possible, by the way, if one, Manchester United goes ahead to obviously agree what we call a buy clause with Aston Villa, and it said that they want £45 million for Marcus Rashford. And if that's a given, then United will agree a deal of any player, because they'll know they'll be having £45 million of Marcus Rashford. That is really gonna be pure profit. You understand? That is really gonna be pure profit. You understand? So that's exactly what is happening at the side of Manchester United. And for Kenda, if Rashford goes to Aston Villa with a buy clause, obviously United will agree close to 3 or 4 deals before even the summer really comes to pass. So guys, thank you very much for obviously coming in through. I'm taking the last one. Great one says, any news for Probable Pogba, please? There is a story that he's coming to Old Trafford. I'm like, please, let's not get Paul Pogba here. You know, let's not do those mistakes we used to do way back. And the manager hinted onto that they have to take their time to sign players because they don't want to repeat the mistakes they did way back. Now, should we go ahead and obviously do the mistakes we did way back? I tell you, no. That is really unacceptable. So, thank you very much for watching through. Rokan David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun. Let's wait for the game of football, but in the next 1 or 2 hours, I'm going to be dropping a very huge video about it. So, I'm out. Bye-bye. See you when you see me. But it has been nice